What's going on, everybody? Welcome on in the Vikings Now by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Siepman as we are here celebrating Victory Monday as the Vikings gave a complete beatdown to the Cincinnati Bengals in U.S. Bank Stadium yesterday. So coming up on today's show, we got to talk about Isaiah Rodgers and the historic game he had. And Kevin O'Connell, did he finally figure out the run game? Brian Flores, his defense absolutely dominated. And we saw Christian Darrisaw back in the lineup, and we felt his impact. And finally, I do want to check in on the rest of the NFC North. But we got to start with Isaiah Rodgers here. It is official. After PFF went back and watched the All-22 film, he had the first ever 99.9 overall PFF grade. And as it stands right now, Isaiah Rodgers is not only the highest graded cornerback in the National Football League, with a 90.9 overall PFF grade on the season, but he is the highest rated defender in football. What a signing he was this offseason. So if you guys want to show Isaiah Rodgers some love, get down below in the comment section and give me those twos. Type his jersey number. A truly historic game yesterday. I don't know if we will ever see a game like that, but hey, let's show him some love on today's show. Type those twos down below. Now, I'm not trying to be hyperbolic or try to get a headline or try to get a scorching hot take out there when I say this. I think Isaiah Rodgers had the best defensive game I have, frankly, ever seen from a singular player. Now, we have seen edge rushers completely game wreck before, where the other team's offense, just can't get anything going. But I don't think we've seen a guy, in terms of just being a playmaker and being a force defensively, have a game like this. I mean, the stats are absolutely insane. His coverage grade, 99.4. He had that great pick six where he just got up the left sideline and we saw that breakaway speed. And then he had that forced fumble and scoop and score on the same exact play, which was just awesome football. Had another forced fumble on Jamar Chase. And then that one PBU he had was his fourth best play of the day, but it was a one-on-one 50-50 ball with T. Higgins, and he made a hell of a play. Like, Isaiah Rodgers was absolutely fantastic yesterday. And you know who I thought about after this game? Isaiah Rodgers dominating? Brian Flores. This dude could be a GM in the future. Brian Flores, think about the three guys he wanted the Vikings to bring in the last two off seasons. Jonathan Gennard, Andrew Van Ginkel, and now Isaiah Rodgers. Well, Jonathan Gennard was fantastic last year, and now he's second in the league in pressures this year. Andrew Van Ginkel has been unbelievable during his tenure with the Minnesota Vikings, and now Isaiah Rodgers, the highest graded defender according to PFF. Shout out to Flo. He was absolutely fantastic. Just making sure Isaiah Rodgers got to Minnesota. And number two, played some great football, so shout out to you. But also some more great news for Vikings fans. Kevin O'Connell finally committed to the run game yesterday. Now, we have been pounding the table. Can we get some quick game? Can we get more involved with the run? That's what the Vikings did yesterday, and it was on the back of Jordan Mason. But still, top to bottom, the Vikings ran crazy. 31 carries. That is awesome stuff from Kevin O'Connell, staying committed to that run. Now, as you should, you were up 34-3 at halftime, so you should have gotten up to 31 carries, but they're also very productive with those carries. 169 yards on the ground, averaging 5.5 yards per carry, and it's sounding like the Vikings ripped off like an 80-yard touchdown run where it kind of skewed these numbers here. Their longest run was 24 yards, so it was just consistently getting 5 to 10 yards every single carry. And obviously, Mason found the end zone 2 times, and I'll tell you what, we're slowly creeping up there, being one of the better rushing offenses in the NFL. We have talked about KOC, just the problems he have had, running the football consistently over his first 3 years as the Vikings head coach. Back in 2022, under 100. Same in 2023. Now, last year, we saw that uptick, getting the 19th in the NFL. But now this year, averaging 122.3 rushing yards per game, which is 12th in the league. And Jordan Mason was absolutely fantastic. I mean, this run chart is beautiful. He did not have a single negative run yesterday. All 16 carries at least picked up a yard, and he had a plus 47 rushing yards over expected. That is absolutely incredible. And you know what? Rushing yards over expected is my favorite stat when evaluating running backs, and Jordan Mason right now is second in the whole NFL. Now, this is a next-gen stats where they come out and they say, hey, on this certain run play, this running back was supposed to get 3 or 4 yards. Now, let's just say the running back gets 8 yards. That'll be like plus 4 rushing yards over expected. But yesterday, Jordan Mason, plus 47. Now he's second in the National Football League, only behind James Cook. He has been absolutely awesome, but even goes further than that. He is literally the best running back in the NFL according to advanced analytics. His EPA per rush, 0.26. That's first in the league. His success rate, 55%, first in the league. Yards per carry, fifth. Yards after contact, 3.35. That's 7th in the league. Rushing yards over expected, 2nd in the league with plus 61. This dude has been fantastic. He was my favorite pickup this offseason, and especially with Aaron Jones being out, feed this man the football. He can be your backbone. He can almost be the identity of this Vikings offense for a little bit as they start to get the pass game going. Now with Jordan Addison back, this offense is feeling really, really dangerous. And we'll talk about the offense here in a second, but I do just want to say thank you guys so much really quickly. We crossed over 61,000 subscribers yesterday, so shout out to everybody who's hit that subscribe button in the past. It really does go a long way here, so seriously, I know we ask you guys to like the video, hit that subscribe button a lot, but it really does help us out. So shout out to all the real ones. Shout out to the best fans in the world. Thank you guys so much for 61K. And if you guys haven't already, hit that subscribe button today. Now dive into more great news and more takeaways from the game here in a second. But today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. And you and I make decisions every day. But on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. And if you guys download the app today, plug in promo code CLNS will get you guys hooked up with $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. And PrizePicks is super simple to play. All you got to do is pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. And if you guys get your picks right, you could cash in. Now, PrizePicks is also super user-friendly, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. They offer Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, and more for quick and easy deposits into your account this football season. Now, speaking about Monday night, we got the Lions taking on the Ravens in a massive, massive game. Now, here's an example of a lineup I'm rolling with. But if you guys want to fade these picks or ride with these picks, just do so at PrizePicks and download the PrizePicks app today. Plug in that promo code CLNS. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. A shout out to PrizePicks for sponsoring today's edition of Vikings Now by Chat Sports. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. All right, let's talk about the Vikings defense here really quickly, and then we'll get back to the offense. Talk about the impact of Jordan Addison coming back, but yesterday the Vikings defense was absolutely fantastic. They completely shut down this Bengals offense. It wasn't even really a game because of the defense, and you only allowed 171 total yards. Majority of those came in garbage time. Only allowed 10 points. That last touchdown came in garbage time, but you allowed 3.3 yards per play, only 53 yards on the ground, and you forced 5 turnovers. Now, I will give credit to the players. They executed at a very high level. But Brian Flores was an absolute madman yesterday. Going back and watching the All-22 defensively earlier on this morning, the looks and the coverages he was showing Jake Browning was absolutely ridiculous. I couldn't imagine being a starting quarterback in the NFL, having to go on the road and play this Vikings defense with the crowd noise, with that defensive line. They were all playing fantastic. Like Jalen Redmond had an 89.9 PFF grade. Jonathan Grenard had a 90-plus PFF grade, where Grenard, Van Ginkel, and Dallas Turner have all been fantastic. Dallas Turner actually had a hell of a game yesterday as well. Obviously, Van Ginkel getting the 2 sacks, but that defensive line, and now on the back end, getting sticky in coverage with Brian Flores in that unique scheme, getting healthy also with Harrison Smith back in the fold. This defense is a problem, and they're starting to hit their stride. And, defensive EPA per play rankings, right now the Minnesota Vikings are number 1. Negative 0.27 for opposing team offenses when they are playing this Vikings defense. And then also the Jags are right behind them, same with the Green Bay Packers, Niners, and Falcons. But why turning the ball over is so important for this defense? Because of this stat. Kevin O'Connell, and this is coming in from Alec Lewis, shout out to him. The Vikings under KOC, when they break even or win the turnover margin, they are 32-3. That's a win percentage of 91.4. The league average for that situation is 66.5. So if you can go into any week and just saying if we don't beat ourselves and we just tie or win the turnover battle, you're winning 32 of 35 games. Like, that is a great stat for Kevin O'Connell. So just a great combination. When you have that, turnover-hungry defense with the way KOC's calling the shots, like, we kind of finally saw this Vikings team, I don't want to say peak yesterday because obviously there's a long way to go. You got to clean some stuff up, but it's just a perfect combination. And, we can talk about Christian Darrisaw. It's great to have 71 back. I'll tell you what. I don't think there's a bigger drop-off at any position in the league from Christian Darrisaw to Justin School or Walter Rouse. And CD was fantastic yesterday. Going up against Trey Hendrickson, one of the best edge rushers in the NFL, pitched a shutout. 0 pressures, 0 quarterback hits, 0 sacks allowed. one penalty, played in 38 of the 60 offensive snaps. Obviously, they pulled him in the second half, which I thought was the right decision. But having number 71 back is huge. Now, once we get Ryan Kelly back, hopefully this week, that offensive line is at full strength, and you are getting this guy back, Jordan Addison. The Minnesota Vikings offense is about to be at full strength, and this is incredibly scary for the rest of the NFL because this defense, I think, is the best in the National Football League. At least they showed it so far for the first 3 weeks, and they really only really put it together yesterday. Like, that's what's so scary about this defense. I think they're going to go and dismantle the Steelers in Ireland this upcoming week. I think they're going to have a great performance against the Browns, and now you're getting Jordan Addison back. Once you get Ryan Kelly there, Blake Cashman, like week 7, this football team should be hitting their stride, and you have a great test at home against the Eagles. And hopefully we get J.J. McCarthy back as well, and he starts playing some good football. But right now, the NFC North standings, the Vikings and Packers are tied at first. Shout out to the Cleveland Browns for getting it done yesterday against Green Bay. But the Vikings and Packers both 2-1. Bears picked up a big win, moving to 1-2, and now the Lions are in Baltimore tonight. So more likely than not, Lions drop to 1-2. Vikings and Packers sitting at 2-1, and shout out to the Browns picking up a massive win yesterday over the Green Bay Packers, winning 13-10. Now, I will say, this win yesterday was so important because I do actually believe the Bears are going to get hot here. They got the Raiders this upcoming week. I think they're going to beat them, and then they have a bye week, and then it's Commanders and Saints. I would not be shocked if we look up and the Bears are 4-2. So the Vikings, if you want any chance to win the NFC North, they have to go 2-0 across the pond. Like, you have to be 4-1 heading into that bye because the Packers, they're going to get right. They're going to stack a lot of wins. They'll probably be an 11, 12, 13-win team still. The Lions, they're still a problem. They'll be a double-digit win team. And then with the Bears getting right yesterday, they got a favorable schedule coming up. If you want any chance to just maintain pace, you have to be 4-1 going into that bye, and I think they got a great chance to do so. You're 2-point favorites against the Steelers. You're 7-point favorites against the Browns. You handle business. You beat two teams that you are better than. You have a better coaching staff than the Steelers. You have a way better roster. And if you can just kind of do what you did against the Bengals, I mean, Steelers are really no problem for the Vikings, and same with the Cleveland Browns. So you got to go 2-0 across the pond. We appreciate all of you guys watching today's show. If you guys made it to the end, hit me with a skull down below in the comment section. Also, hit that subscribe button on your way out. We'll see you guys next time. As always, Skull Vikes.